Recently, the first 3 waves of DLC updates for Sonic Frontiers was released. Let's take a look and see if it was worth the wait. Sonic Frontiers released on the 8th of November 2022, exactly 5 years and 1 day after that. It received a generally positive reception, first for a 3D Sonic game since Sonic Generations, even though they're almost more fun than the 2D ones anyway, but whatever, which released 11 years prior. Apart from Digital Trends, who gave it a 2 out of 10, no game deserves a 2 out of 10, but whatever you say, Gingy Neckbeard, who wrote the article, I made a review of Frontiers back when it came out, so if you want to see my full thoughts on it, watch that. But to summarise, I finished saying this.
I've 100%ed all of the islands so far, and I've spent about 30 hours with the game, 28 of which were some of the most fun I've had with any game ever.
And yeah, I still stand by that statement. Then, in December, it was announced that 3 updates would be releasing for the game across 2023. Update 1 featuring a jukebox mode, photo mode, and new challenge modes. Update 2 would feature Sonic's birthday, whatever that means, open zone challenges, and new Coco, again, whatever that means. And Update 3, the biggest of the bunch, would feature new playable characters and story. We don't know anything about this update yet, but it's exciting, especially as all the updates are free. However, just released is Update 1, so let's take a look at that. Starting off with the Jukebox mode. Jukebox mode is great. Actually a lot better than I was expecting. I thought it would just be a bunch of songs from Frontiers you could play around the open zones, and that would be it. The only song that is Frontiers related here is I'm Here, I'm pretty sure. The rest are all from past games, including Black Knight, my beloved. I've been saying this since the first analysis video, back when we first saw footage of Frontiers, all the way back now in June. I said that it had Sonic and the Goat Knight vibes. These enemies here look quite interesting. They give me Sonic Unleashed, not Unleashed, Sonic and the Black Knight vibes. Which I quite like, because I like Sonic and the Black Knight. In fact, this whole clip here does. So, to be able to run around the islands with Misty Lake, Deep Woods, and Goat of the Wind, it's absolutely fantastic. Even games from Sonic and the Secret Rings being featured. Our storybook fans really won. There's music from Sonic Generation, Sonic 06, Sonic CD. If you could think of a game that's probably got at least one song that's in here. The thing is, Jukebox mode adds a lot more than just letting you play a bunch of songs from Sonic history as you run around. As soon as you start the update, you have 13 songs unlocked by default, and the other 40 odd are scattered around the 5 Starfall Islands for you to go and collect. And this was more fun than I was expecting. You always get a rush whenever you pick one up, and the majority of the songs are great. There's 2 Sky Sanctuary songs for some reason, and Midstroid Coaster, but other than that, every song choice is fantastic. You'd be like, okay, grab whatever this is. Whoa! They put this in there? And then die of nostalgia. It would have been nice to have a few more songs from Frontiers playable, like different island themes or on different islands, or the boss themes, but it's okay, I guess. I hope they add more songs in future updates, but as it stands, it's a fantastic choice of song that make running around the Starfall Islands a much different experience, gives different vibes, and give you more nostalgia without being too in your face like a certain 2 Sonic games I know that were released in 2017. One of them sounds a bit like Sonic Rainier, and the other one sounds a bit like Sonic Rorses. Next is the photo mode. That is what I was looking for the most out of all of them when the roadmap was first released, and to be honest, it's kind of lacking, which is a disappointment. To activate photo mode, you pause the game and scroll over to the photo mode tab and enter. From here you can move the camera about and take pictures, add different filters, and that's about it. I was hoping for a little bit more than this. I mean, look at Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, for example. Like Frontiers, I can move the camera about, I can add different filters, I can add lights to the scene, I can change the overall lighting of the environment, I can change the time of day, change the image noise, add blur, pose the characters, give them different weapons, change their facial expressions independently. But in Frontiers I can move the camera. Huh. To be clear, I wasn't expecting a photo mode as in-depth as the one in Ratchet & Clank, but it would be nice to be able to have poses you could put or change the time of day. But another thing with Sonic Frontiers photo mode is it feels a little janky. I'm never quite sure of the size of the camera or if I can move it around somewhere. It always seems to get stuck on the ground or on objects. The reason for this is that the camera can be able to move freely, forward, back, left, right, up and down, but it still rotates on an orbit, rather than freely. Here's me with an explanation. Thanks, me! Now, excuse how I look, I've not long woken up because I forgot to record this. So, an explanation of how the camera is a small issue. Here we have Sonic, he's just running around the world, this is normal, you're playing the game, camera is here. The camera rotates around Sonic, like that, yeah? If I want to look that way, whoop, the camera comes around that side, whoop, comes around that side, right? That makes sense. Now, we have a free camera, we're in photo mode, this is the floor, this is the camera. Any other photo mode, we'll use Ratchet & Clank's photo mode for example, I can move the camera, say I want to have the camera here, okay, and I want to look up slightly, it just rotates like that. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Sonic Frontiers, this camera still rotates on the orbit as if Sonic was still there, meaning if I put the camera here and I want to look up, well I can't, because it's going to go down like that, but it's already there, so it can't go down because the floor's there. If it just rotated, you'd be able to look up, but because it rotates like that, you can't. And that's the same if there's like a wall, rather than be able to look out like that, it's going to go and smash into the wall and not be able to go anywhere. I hope that explanation makes sense. Back to me. Very good job, me. I hope that cleared it up. All that being said, however, I love photo mode. I've taken about 150 photos in Frontiers over the last few days that the update's been out at the time of writing, so yeah, I definitely, it's very good. I do like it. And finally, we have the new challenge modes to talk about. These are great too. There are 2 challenge modes, a boss rush mode and a cyberspace challenge mode. Starting off with the boss rush. You fight waves of all the different enemy types on each island, and then all the Guardian types on each island. Finally, we finish with the Titan boss of the island, and this is surprisingly fun. Some areas were surprisingly a challenge, and once you've done all of this for all of the islands, you then run them all at once, and restarting puts you back to wave 1 on Kronos. So you have to be good throughout. One slip up could ruin your whole run, and if you're going for S ranks on all of them, especially. It's nice to be able to replay the Titan bosses, as you couldn't do that previously without starting a new save file. Still, I've had no real incentive to go back to the boss rush after finishing it. Yet. I'm sure I will, but not yet. However, some good news is, for once in a Sonic game, you do something and it's not for nothing. Your reward for S-ranking all the islands is an extreme difficulty, which I haven't had a chance to play yet. However, if you take damage, you die. It's a one-hit kill mode, and that sounds kind of fun. I will be live streaming an extreme difficulty playthrough. Probably the first stream will be on Friday, so keep your eyes peeled for that. So if you want to see my ass get handed to me, keep your eyes peeled. Extreme mode also ups the price of everything in Big Shop, preventing you from just grinding that to complete the story. The other challenge mode is Cyberspace Challenge. It's exactly the same as the boss rush, however you play through all the cyberspace stages, rather than fighting all the enemies. The reward for this is, my god, it's a game changer. You get to use the power boost in cyberspace, making them faster, more fun, with reaction-based gameplay more. It massively improves the cyberspace part of the game for me, and I liked it generally to begin with. It will mean you might be going faster in a few areas than it was designed for, so you might have to stomp to reach certain rings or whatever, but it's generally fine. The levels are so fast and thrilling now that they're just massively improved. However, it's not without its problems. You can use this anywhere, anytime you play cyberspace, apart from specific cyberspace stages in arcade mode. Meaning you can use it when you enter cyberspace from the main menu and go into challenge mode, but not on the main menu where you can choose it in arcade mode, and this is kind of annoying. Say I want to use it on 3-3, for example. Rather than going to arcade mode and selecting 3-3, I either have to load up a save file of the game, load onto Chaos Island, and then either run or fast travel to the cyberspace portal, and then load into 3-3. Or load up Chaos Island Challenge Mode, play through 3-1 and 3-2 first. It doesn't make sense. I would understand if it worked for arcade mode and not the open zone cyberspace or the challenge modes, but it is what it is. On top of all of this, Update 1 also adds a few quality of life changes. You can now give all of your Coco at once to the Elder Coco to level up your speed or ring capacity rather than having to do it one by one. Your reign of terror is over. You can also now restart cyberspace stages quicker. Before, if you mess up, you have to pause the game, select the tab, scroll down, then restart stage. Now you have a combination of 3 buttons. On PS5, it's L2, R2, and a touchpad, and you instantly restart the stage. This is great if you're trying to speedrun and you make a mistake, and it streamlines the whole process. You can turn off that stupid slot machine that takes up 80% of the screen, and disable the power boost animation getting played every time you achieve enough rings to use power boost in the open zone. Basically, any major issue I had with the game that could be fixed has been. And we got more on top of that, like the photo mode and the challenge modes, a surprisingly fun jukebox mode that adds a lot to the game for me, the expert mode, the power boost and cyberspace. The update is overall fantastic. It's not perfect, with a few issues here and there, but for a completely free update, it is magnificent. We still have 2 updates to come too. Kishimoto, the game's director, has said that Update 2 will feature a lot more quality of life changes and updates. People have found a spin dash animation within the files of the games, which wasn't there before the update. Kishimoto said he wants to make the games more focused on momentum, change the final boss, and they're cooking! The future looks bright and incredible. Aside from a few nitpicks here and there, Update 1 is absolutely incredible and massively improves the game for me. Well done, Sonic Team. Well done.